The former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, has returned. It's been a few weeks since he has come back, changed the entire political scenario which is there in Pakistan. Imran Khan will become history. Nawaz Sharif will sweep everything. Massive disconnect between the street and the state. He has not come out with any new plan. He has not come out with anything revolutionary. The domination of the military is now no longer acceptable or no longer politically popular. Imran Khan, who was a disaster as a prime minister, who had messed up Pakistan's economy, knew nothing of governance, his popularity has continued to soar. And the support given to Nawaz Sharif notwithstanding, he just simply is not getting the kind of political traction. The former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, has returned. It's been a few weeks since he has come back. But what is quite visible is that, like many people had expected, that the moment Nawaz Sharif lands in Pakistan, he is going to change the entire political scenario which is there in Pakistan. Imran Khan will become history. Nawaz Sharif will sweep everything. The entire silent majority which supports Nawaz Sharif will come pouring out, and the streets will be, on fire because Nawaz Sharif has come. And I mean streets on fire in a much more benign and positive manner, not on what is likely to happen if the election is rigged. But I think what is quite visible over the last few weeks since Nawaz Sharif has returned is the massive disconnect between the street and the state of Pakistan. I think that disconnect is now quite visible, and it is being manifested in the fact that Nawaz Sharif has come back. There are a lot of these so-called electables, these locally influential politicians who are making a beeline to the Muslim League of Nawaz Sharif, which is considered to be in pole position to win the next election, because Nawaz Sharif has made a complete U-turn in his politics and gone back from where he started, which is he came into politics hanging on to the coattails of the generals, and he has now in virtually what is likely to be his last innings in politics, he has gone back to riding into power by holding on to the coattails of the generals in the GHQ, Asim Munir and company. So his politics has come full circle in many ways, but unlike what happened in the 80s when Nawaz Sharif made his entry into politics, the state and the street were more or less aligned, especially in Punjab. I think that connection seems to have come loose, if not completely broken. It's heading towards a break. The part of the problem is, of course, that Nawaz Sharif simply does not attract that same kind of or does not get the same kind of traction that he used to do in the 80s and the 90s, even in his last tenure as Prime Minister. He just simply does not have it anymore. Number two, he is in a kind of a time warp. He's just come out with his economic plan on how he intends to rejuvenate Pakistan's broken economy, bankrupt economy. But he has not come out with any new plan. He has not come out with anything revolutionary. What he has said is what he did in the 1990s, exactly the policies that led Pakistan or changed the structure of the Pakistan economy in a way that it has reached this pass, is exactly what Nawaz Sharif is promising, more of the same. that same, he'll come out, bring in big investments, motorways, infrastructure, stuff like that. That's not what Pakistan needs. What Pakistan needs is structural change, but Nawaz Sharif has absolutely no idea on how to fix the economy. So his prescriptions for fixing the economy are, the ones which he had in the 1990s, that Pakistan will become a paradise for money laundering, that you can bring in investments and no questions will be asked about the source of money. These are amnesty schemes which others have also brought before Nawaz Sharif, and they haven't really worked wonders as far as the Pakistan economy is concerned. Maybe will have some short-term impact of a couple of months, but does not do anything to change the structure of the Pakistan economy. Now, the thing is, at a political level, so apart from what he will do at the administrative level or on the economic front, I think what is very important to note is that at the political level, and this to my mind is the tectonic change which has probably come in Pakistan politics, and that is that anti-establishment, and by establishment we mean the dominance of the military and its interference in virtually every sphere of Pakistan's public and political life. The domination of the military is now no longer acceptable or no longer politically popular, at least at the street level. At the level of the power elite, they still think that the ticket to power comes from the GHQ. So they will all make a line, a beeline to the GHQ, seek favors and curry favors from generals, and hope that that becomes their ticket to success. But at the street level, at the popular level, anti-establishment politics is now the name of the game. Now, there was always been a certain anti-establishment sentiment inside Pakistan, but it never really reached that tipping point where it could set the real agenda of the state. Now it seems that that is really the principal pillar or the central pillar of Pakistani politics. When Nawaz Sharif was ousted and he came up with his vote ko izzat do, give respect to the vote platform, he seemed to attract a lot more traction and support than what Imran Khan, who was seen to be a puppet and seen to be implanted by the military establishment as Prime Minister, was getting at that point of time. Now, the moment Imran Khan turned defiant and started challenging the military, Imran Khan, and this was much of it was after his ouster, Imran Khan, who was a disaster as a Prime Minister, who had messed up Pakistan's economy, knew nothing of governance, and was in many ways a despised figure. Every single or virtually every single by-election that was held in the 3.5 years that Imran Khan was in power, his party lost, and that is some kind of a barometer of the popularity of a political party. And ever since he was ousted and he took on this role of being an anti-establishment figure, a guy who was challenging the generals, calling them Mir Jafar, Mir Qasim, heaping all kinds of insults on them, accusing them of being in hand in glove with foreign elements to bring about a regime change. The moment he went on that track, his popularity seems to have soared. Despite the crackdown, despite the dismantling of his party, despite everything, the kind of street support, much of it silent because people are afraid of their lives and their livelihoods, but that street support is palpable, and Nawaz Sharif has not been able to do anything to change that. Now, what is important is that the crackdown notwithstanding on Imran Khan, his popularity has continued to soar, and the support given to Nawaz Sharif notwithstanding, uh, he just simply is not getting the kind of political traction you would expect somebody who's seen as a front runner in the next election to get, at least at the street level. Uh, but at the level of the so-called the power elite or the political elite, uh, they are all making a beeline for PMLN. A lot of them are actually not making a beeline, they are being corralled into the PMLN or Nawaz Sharif's camp. New alliances are being stitched together, alliances of some very strange bedfellows. So, for example, there is now a very imminent prospect of a kind of an alliance between the MQM in Karachi and which is again almost a rump now, but the MQM in Karachi, which is now being propped up as a counter to PTI in Karachi, coming into alliance with the PMLN in Karachi, which has about 22 seats. In Sindh, the GDA or the Grand Democratic Alliance, a smattering of small parties to challenge the People's Party in Sindh, is being kind of propped up, and there is a likelihood of some kind of an alliance between PMLN and those guys to challenge the PPP. PPP might still win Sindh, but maybe the numbers are going to come down. In Balochistan, a lot of the tribal sardars and the big electables have been corralled into the PMLN camp. Almost 30 odd big political leaders have gone the PMLN way. In Punjab, again, there is a kind of a split verdict, and KP, there does not seem to have been much of a change. The kind of popular support out there seems to be very fragmented. But if Imran Khan and his party was to be in the fray, and it is possible that they might be in the fray in one form or another, probably in a way that the army thinks that they are not going to get, there's not going to be any chance for them to actually win elections, but only fight elections. It seems that there will be some kind of a fragmented verdict, but if Imran Khan, like I said, was going to be there, he would have swept the elections in KP. So what seems to be happening right now, and this is again, this is not rocket science, this is something which a lot of Pakistanis themselves are talking about, that the political field is being set in a way that the PMLN emerges as the single largest party. The numbers being bandied about are out of a total number of elected seats of 266, that the PMLN will get anything between 90 to 120, and then the rest of the seats they'll make up through some kind of alliances. Now we don't know how that is going to turn out, but that seems to be the calculation for now. But the problem, however, is that many people, although they feel that once you have this kind of a government set up, which requires the support of some of the smaller parties, many of which are puppets of the GHQ, MQM and others, the BAP party in Balochistan, it will be easier to control the government. The problem, however, is that these are not, the political field is something which you cannot really set and be very sure of the outcomes. And very often we have seen in the past that the powers that be, by which I mean the military establishment, overplays its hand, or sometimes gets it completely wrong. They got it completely wrong in 1971 when the Awami League swept the election and actually in East Bengal or East Pakistan and got a majority overall in Pakistan, and then there was a civil war and Pakistan broke up. Even later, there have been instances where they never expected, for example, Nawaz Sharif in the 1997 election. Nobody expected him to get a 2/3 majority, but he did, because the military establishment, which was backing him at that point of time, overplayed its hand. Bhutto again overplayed his hand when he tried to sweep an election in 1977, which resulted in a coup. there is a possibility that Nawaz Sharif might actually emerge with more numbers than what are being given to him. Even if he gets a simple majority, it will be a huge problem for the military, which does not entirely trust him. We don't even know actually if Nawaz Sharif is going to become Prime Minister, because there are these court cases against him which have still not been settled. But even if he is not Prime Minister, or if he is Prime Minister, he will be the controlling power behind a PMLN government, the big guy behind that government, whether as Prime Minister or the guy who backs the Prime Minister. So one possibility is that Nawaz Sharif actually manages to win whatever goes for an election in Pakistan. It will be a very tainted, very contested, very contentious election. I doubt if the legitimacy and the credibility of that election will be very high, but that has never stopped Pakistani politicians from claiming legitimacy and the right to rule. Imran Khan, for example, it was a very tainted election, but he always thought he had won the election fair and square, which he had not. And so is the case with virtually every election in Pakistan. But what is important is that if the PMLN does not get a majority, what we have seen in the case of Imran Khan is that despite the fact that he cobbled together a majority with the support of some of the smaller parties, when the time came to throw him out of office, it wasn't so easy to try and pull him down. There was a massive political crisis which happened in Pakistan in 2022 when he was being ousted, and we've seen how close things came to falling apart at that point of time because of the resistance he had put up. So it's not always very easy that simply because a government is a coalition government, it's easy to pull it down. And I think that is something which might be escaping the attention of a lot of people as far as Pakistan is concerned. And then there is a third possibility, which is that what if, because there are some reports that Imran Khan is going to give a list of people who are his nominees and who will probably be fighting on his party ticket, even if he is no longer the party boss and is disqualified, not allowed to take part in the election. And there is a possibility, even if it's slim as of now, even if nobody really gives it much of a chance, I think that possibility cannot be ignored outright, of the PTI actually, or Imran Khan's nominees actually getting many more numbers than they are being given as of now. And if that happens, then that completely changes the political landscape of Pakistan. So I think anybody who thought that Nawaz Sharif will come back and politics is going to go back to some semblance of stability, I don't think that's likely to happen going forward, partly because, and fundamentally in fact, not partly, but fundamentally because this deep division between the state and the street, which is manifesting itself in an anti-establishment sentiment, is now the ruling or the central pillar of Pakistani politics. And the implications of this for Pakistani politics, I think, need to be studied a lot more closely, because this could be actually a game changer going forward.